everybody. Welcome to a Pro Day recap edition of the OHIO podcast. I am your host, the Wild Man, Chris Wilds. And before we get started, just wanted to remind you to go ahead and, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Also, make sure you're going in and liking us, making sure you're subscribing to our channel. It does not cost a thing to do that. And it makes you aware of when we have all our fabulous content rolling out. And if you like what we do, consider going ahead and becoming a member. It's only $3.99 a month, and what a deal. So many great benefits of becoming a member of the channel. That being said, today was Ohio State's Pro Day over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. 17 guys from the national championship roster who are going to be draft eligible this year were on display, as well as one familiar face from a few years back, Mayan Williams, who was not able to compete in last year's Pro Days due to injury. He was at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center competing with our Buckeyes today. So as we look, a lot of guys did drills today. Among them, Will Howard, Tyleik Williams, TreVeyon Henderson. There we go. TreVeyon Henderson, Donovan Jackson, Josh Fryer. Josh Simmons did some limited action today as well to show how well he was recovering from that patella tendon injury. And guys, overall, what we saw, winners and losers wise, I don't know that anybody really gained that much momentum as far as their draft stock goes. One person I think definitely did was Will Howard. I watched all 13 minutes of his footage from going out there and throwing the ball today. And wow, Will looked pretty good. He looked pretty on point, very accurate, which of course was a staple of his time here at OSU. Did have a few, specifically on longer throws, where he kind of made the receivers wait just a little bit, but then he had some there where he hit them right in stride and they looked great. A couple where they had to reach back, but they were all catchable balls. And the receivers made him look very good on the ones where he was a little bit off. So I definitely think Will Howard may have helped himself a little today, following what a lot of people criticized as an average performance at the combine. Also helping himself today was Emeka Egbuka a little bit, more so for the 40-yard dash time than anything else. He got out and ran a 4.48 40-yard dash. That's roughly about 22 miles an hour. The average receiver in the NFL runs a 4.51, so he did slightly edge that. So he may have improved his draft stock a little, although he was already a first-round pick, and we knew that. Someone who may have hurt themselves a little bit was Tyleik Williams. Now, Tyleik, we talked about him being possibly a first-round guy. He definitely has first-round talent, but he did go out there today and about halfway through his 40-yard dash. Tyleik had an unfortunate incident where he fell down, grabbed his leg. It appears to be a hamstring injury. Hopefully that's not too severe. He was able to come back out on the field a short time later and, had that wrapped up. So as far as that goes, is that going to hurt his draft stock? I don't know. One other guy who helped himself a little bit, I thought, was Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons got out there, did 33 reps on the bench. He got out there, he moved around, showed his mobility a little bit following that injury. I thought he did a pretty good job out there. His footwork looked good. He was sliding well. TreVeyon was TreVeyon during running back drills. He looked good. I don't know that he improved his stock any, but he definitely didn't hurt it. And then you talk about Donovan Jackson and Josh Fryer. Those two guys got out there, worked with new offensive line coach Tyler Bowen a little bit. I thought Donovan looked sharp. I think Donovan was probably staying right about where he's at. But his versatility could allow him to slide up a little bit. And then Josh Fryer may have played himself into a 7th-round pick. He's a guy who I think a lot of us saw as possibly undrafted free agent, but definitely making a practice squad to potentially being a guy maybe sliding into the draft. Could he be that 15th, 16th guy to get in there that helps us get over the top is the question. So as we look at this today, I look at it like this. I think we've got a couple of first-round picks. I think Emeka is definitely a first-round pick. Don't be surprised if he ends up in the state of Dallas, or state of Texas, either with Dallas or the Texans. I think those are two teams that very much like him, as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, with their acquisition of DJ Metcalf, I don't know that they're looking for another receiver right this second. Josh Simmons, I think he is also a first-round draft pick right now. I think as you look at him, he is probably a first-round pick, maybe the Jets, maybe the Texans, maybe the Chiefs at the end of the first round. But I think he's a guy who's going to slide up there. Donovan Jackson is intriguing to me. He's somebody who I think is a first, second-round pick. Possibly Cleveland, Cincinnati. Again, Chiefs are in play on Donovan as well. Quinshon's a guy who, after his combine, I thought had played himself potentially into a first-round spot. Is that possible? Yes. I think second to third round is more likely. Second round, I could see him going possibly Chicago, possibly the Raiders to reunite with Chip Kelly, or even out with the hairball in Los Angeles with the Chargers. JTT is a guy who's going on the measurables. He's still living off a great game versus Penn State, but he played well during the playoff run. And he was solid pretty consistently. I think JTT is a guy, probably a round 2 guy, maybe round 3. Don't be surprised. Chicago, New England, I think these are both teams that are very interested. Chicago had both their coach and general manager there today. Travion's a guy who I also think probably goes second round. Dallas, I think, is a team that would be a great fit for him. Dallas is a team that I think probably is from what rumors are saying, could be moving up to take Shedeur Sanders with that with the possibly dealing with Cleveland with that second round pick. I don't know. If that's the case, then don't be overly surprised if they don't go after Travion, who I think may be the most complete back in this draft. Tyleik Williams, a guy who, we've talked about him being a first round talent. Did he slide a little bit today? I think potentially he did. I think Tyleik's probably a second round guy, maybe third round, but probably second round. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Minnesota all seem like good landing places for him. Jack Sawyer, again, a guy who I think is a second, third round guy. Does not have the measurables as much. A great heart guy, great leader, great player. A little small in the hands, a little small in the wingspan. I think that probably knocks him down to most likely the third round. Could be a low second round guy. Cleveland, Cincinnati, he said he's wanted to play for them. I think they're both in play for Jack Sawyer. Also, I think the Lions could be a dark horse there. Now, here's one I think is interesting. Denzel Burke. This is a guy who we have talked about having first round talent a lot. Most places have him ranked as a third round guy. I don't think that they're wrong. I think he'll probably go in the third. Could he slide into the second? Yes. But if he slides to the third, watch for Mike Vrabel to try to slide in there. He was at Pro Day today. Don't be surprised if he doesn't go with Denzel Burke. And I do believe he probably goes Travis Hunter in that first round. So then you're talking about having two guys, tremendous guys with lockdown corner potential. Vrabel being a defensive guy, this would not surprise me at all. Lathan Ransom, probably a third round guy. Lathan, very solid, but the safeties just aren't as sought after as what you have with your corners. I could see Lathan being a Tampa Bay guy, maybe a Jets or even an Indianapolis guy. Seth McLaughlin. Now, this is another interesting one to me. This is a guy who was one of the best centers in college football before going down with the injury. I think he probably slides into the third or fourth round. Watch for the Packers here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers don't go after him, or maybe the Cowboys or even the Browns. I think he's very solid. I think he's going to be a steal for somebody, provided he's able to come back healthy off that injury. Will Howard, the guy who I said I thought really improved his draft stock today, did he make it up to a second rounder? I don't know. I think he's probably a solid third, could slip to the fourth round guy. If he does, the Steelers are interested, I'm sure, as are possibly Philly or the Browns. But watch for Las Vegas. Watch for Chip Kelly to reunite with this quarterback he had that took him to a national championship. I think Chip Kelly knows how to coach Will Howard, coach to his strengths, and I think that'd just be a really good fit. I think Cody Simon probably has slid to a 4th-round guy. He didn't do anything to really stand out at Pro Day. Cody's solid. I think he probably goes Washington, maybe Vegas in a 4th-round situation. Jordan Hancock, I've seen him as high as 3rd, seen him as low as the 6th round. I don't think he's that low. I like him in the 4th, at worst the 5th round. Washington, Dallas, Carolina, all guys who I think would be players in on Jordan Hancock. Ty Hamilton, probably a solid 5th-round guy. Not nearly the tools of Tyleik Williams, but I think he's got a very good potential. And if you look at the history of his brother, who stepped up in his senior year and then has had a pretty good run in the pros, don't be surprised if maybe the Seahawks, the Niners, Commanders, or even the Broncos might not be interested if they get him late. Our last 2 guys we're going to talk about are Josh Fryer, who I thought looked good enough to possibly slide himself into a 7th-round spot at Pro Day today. I don't know that he has. There is a strong likelihood he probably goes undrafted free agent, but he'll catch on somewhere. But I'm going to, for the sake of argument, say that Josh Fryer could slide into the 7th round. Cleveland, the Jets, both in need of offensive line help, as is New England. And, New England, you've got Mike Vrabel. Late picks, he likes to give Buckeyes a chance. We saw that with undrafted free agents. We saw that with late round picks down to Tennessee. So don't be surprised there. Another option for Mike Vrabel in New England would be Gee Scott Jr. Gee Scott is a very good pass catching tight end. Okay blocker, but he's a guy who could help you out as a pass catching tight end. And tight end's a spot that New England needs, as does the Jets and the Bears. So again, overall in the Pro Day, we saw over 100 NFL coaches, GMs, personnel there. 2 representatives from the Bears, their head coach, their GM. We saw Vrabel there, and I really think that as you look at this, the people who were there are going to tell you a lot about the people who are going to go after the Buckeyes players. For me, I really think that I don't know if we can get to 15. I don't know if we can get there and break the record. I think we got 14 solid, 15 potential, and with a little help, we could see as many as all 17 of these guys taken. I think that's highly unlikely, but I think it is possible. Definitely saw, as I said, Will Howard, Emeka Egbuka, I think, helped themselves a little. I think we saw Tyleik hurt himself possibly a little with that fall, but who knows? Josh Simmons, I think, helped himself a little. Overall, guys, I think it was a great pro day. I think that this is going to be a tremendous draft to watch. Make sure you catch our draft special, which I believe is going to be on April the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, where we go on and we hold our annual draft competition. Great little game we play. Chance to win some prizes there. So make sure you check that out. Well, that's all for today. That is our recap of Pro Day at The Ohio State University. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And as always, go Bucks.